you also then, moving down out of your top 10 here, Michael Penix Jr. you have going to the Raiders. What are you hearing about Penix Jr.? I mean, this guy is truly one of the most talked about quarterbacks in a draft that we're all assuming he's quarterback 5. It's kind of crazy, right?
He has the best arm talent in this group.
So then why isn't he higher?
I think there's a little hesitation on him because of the injury history, because he had 4 season-ending injuries.
I assume you saw his Players Tribune.
I did.
Okay,
I did. Look, I am a big Michael Penix Jr. believer. I've spent a bunch of time with him, probably more time talking to Michael Penix than any of the other guys. He has faced real adversity, come through the other side. Teammates like him, love him. His coaches had a ton of respect for him. He played in an NFL system where he's taken shots downfield, a lot of shots. He didn't take sacks. If people want to knock him and say, oh, well, he didn't, they didn't see how well he moves. I think some of that was because he was playing smart and he had 3 great receivers and he didn't need to do a lot of that, right? And I know this from guys who trained with him for the draft process. I mean, he was a legit 4.50 kind of speed guy. Like, he can really run. They just didn't ask him to do it. You didn't see it. But in terms of, like, I got defensive coordinators I talked to who faced both, Penix and Caleb, and they think Penix has even better arm talent. And Caleb has, a terrific arm. But, he sees it well. He's really bright. If the Raiders get him, and I heard that the Raiders do like him, I think he would be a really good fit for them, and if they get him at 13, what surprises me is people talk about him like it's a surprise if he's going to go in the first round. I
don't get that.
I don't get that either.
I don't get it at all. That may be the medical. I don't know. How can there be?
This was a team, by the way. I just do want to hammer this part home.
Please.
This was a team that was 4-8 before he transferred in there. They were 4-8, almost all exact same talent. He was the difference, and Kalen DeBoer took over. Now, I'm not going to dismiss Kalen DeBoer. He's a terrific coach, and now he's at Alabama. But they were 4-8, and then they played for the national title game. And yes, he had good receivers, but you know what? And I love Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has 2 first-round receivers. And Jaden Daniels has offensive linemen that will eventually be in the draft and probably go pretty high. Now, they didn't have a good defense, but they weren't anywhere close to a national title team. This guy, did. And by the way, Indiana football has been horrible for a long time. When he was there, they were competitive in the Big Ten, and they finished in the top 15. So, again, I'm a big believer in that kid. I don't get why people, there's something that an NFL scout I know who I have a ton of respect for brought up. He was like, he has like a kind of a violent throwing motion and worried about how long he will be able to play, in terms of like his body type, maybe it won't hold up. And I get when, NFL people kind of start to look at things like that and they get a little concerned because it's an investment you're making. You want to make sure your quarterback's going to be as best possible built to last. But in terms of what you see, what he's done, what he is, man, I'm a big believer.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.